Okay. Are we back? Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, gosh. Okay, guys, you know what? Okay. I think it started a new stream. Yep, it started a new stream. Okay, so it started a new stream, everybody. Yay! Yeah, I was very impressed with that screenshot there, Russ. That was fantastic. Okay, good. Glad to hear it, Will, Bill. Oh man. Okay, so I guess I'll pop over to the other live stream and let people know that we're on there. And I'm also, I think I did successfully rouse Roger here, but okay. Hi guys! We are on air! You screenshot that moment for posterity. Thanks, Russ. I appreciate that. I was worried that that would just disappear into the ether. Okay. Hey, Mike. Okay, well. And so it was that our victory live stream was just filled with weird errors and and problems. Okay. Do I still have the chat history, Byron? I think I do. It's just that, well, no, actually, no, I don't, because that was in the other video. So how about a 5v5 mode? Michael, you are more than welcome to try that if you'd like to. Oh man, now I need to change the top of the campaign page too, but I hesitate to do that. Okay, anyways. Isn't it always a struggle? Well, I guess so, Jay. True story. I guess having a fight to the very end is kind of apropos for this game. Question about playing a skill card. Do I have to meet the range to get secondary effects? Example, Scattered Passage says place in opponent's range 1 spot. Can this be played from 8 spaces away? So if you can't play a skill card because you're out of range, or if you're out of range, then you can't play any part of a skill card, even an ongoing effect. So, well, thanks, Lucid. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for being with us. Okay, sorry. Anyways, question. So yes, you can only use a skill if it's in range, regardless of the passive effect on it. Okay, Lucid. I mentioned before if shipping was going to be accurate, will it be charged in the Pledge Manager or when the game is ready to ship? It will be charged in the Pledge Manager. That's how we've always done it with our games, Lucid. And this one won't be any different. So normally the shipping cost does go up by the time that we actually ship the game, but we always just eat that cost, so you don't have to worry about that. But get no DMG. I am unfortunately unaware what DMG is. Don't do it, Byron. You're just asking for issues if you touch that KS page. LOL. I'm not doing it, Russ. I actually did wake Roger up. So he's doing it for us. Hey, Ghost / Manny. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Russ, you made it, man. Good to see you. Last minute pre-Halloween super limited bonus for first 10 folks who add $1. You're right. Well, we fixed some of the smoothness in this live stream, Russ. You missed it, but yeah. The live stream has definitely taken away some of the smoothness, but still nowhere near Dawn of Madness levels here, that's for sure. Also, by any chance, could other fables from different countries get in the game, like La Llorona, aka the Weeping Woman? I'm sorry for asking, I'm just curious at the moment. Oh, no problem for asking. That's a fantastic idea. La Llorona, she might be a little bit too horror for this game. And by that I mean we normally take normal characters and make them, horrific. So starting off with someone who's straight up, creepy might be a problem. But absolutely, I would love to see fables from other countries get in this game. I think that would be fantastic. In fact, that's something I would very much like to see, is have more diversity in the fables and that sort of thing. Okay, Weapon Omega. Board Game Co. mentioned that he was concerned about the longevity of the game because after a number of plays with a certain fable, you'll have gone through most of their card strategies. So actually, Weapon Omega, that's something we're looking into. So you're mentioning having like a combined ability pool. That's another potential expansion we're looking at doing. Actually, we were thinking about doing that long before he posted that review. So that's definitely a possibility for the future. As far as it's starting to feel boring, I don't know. I suppose every person's different. And I don't want to comment if, someone feels something is boring or not, then sure. That's their prerogative. For me, it's a lot of the tactics of figuring out what's going on with your opponent, though. Like, it's not even just so much learning the fables. I kind of feel like learning the fables is just like the first part, and then after that, it's actually fighting your opponent. And it's figuring out what their strategy is and how you can counteract that, and so on and so forth. So Um, so hopefully that helped answer your question a little bit. Yes, Lucid. You know what? You could even send me an email about that playmat, because that I don't know that that's something that a lot of people have asked for. So I don't know if that would make it into an update. But you can email me at byron@dimensiongames.com and I'll get that for you. And thanks for backing one of our games, Lucid. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is. Damage is damage. Okay. He was wondering if he could play that card out of range with no damage. The answer is no, unfortunately. You couldn't if it's out of range. Hi, Roger, if you're out there. You always seem to end up being awake real late when the campaigns end. Yes, that is true. He does. I was trying to get him to sleep, but I'm glad he's not now. Okay. Yes, we are getting close there, Russ. Absolutely. We've got only 16 minutes left before it all comes down. Speaking of which, I suppose I should see where we're at. All right, making progress. Okay. Yes, Manny, I completely agree with you on that. Absolutely. An idea could be to have a second class option for Fables. Choosing epics is great, but be cool to branch the character Snow having poisons and then having another class being about her serpents. Yeah, maybe so, Kaza. That would probably involve a lot of... who knows? Maybe it's possible. I think you all overestimate how much time most people have to play this game. I kind of agree with you, Ryan. But anyways, I digress. Especially with so many different characters, playing each Fable against each other, Fable will require new tactics. Absolutely, I completely agree. Yeah, so, and then Bill's mentioning here, replying to that same thread, that it hasn't been boring as of yet, and he has played a lot of games. Like, he is probably our, so for those who don't know, William Letson is also Ninja Off Duty in the comments. So, and he has played a lot of Twisted Fables, so he knows what he's talking about. Probably more than just about anyone apart from game designers, I think. And maybe Michael. Except that Michael has the disadvantage of having done it on Tabletop Simulator, so... Oh, Phil! Welcome, my friend! Glad to see you here. Let's see. So when you decided to go ahead with the game, the plan was always expansions beyond what we've seen so far. Well, you know, so that's an interesting question, Michael. So we don't like to abandon our games. So a lot of people, they just release their games and they're done. That's something we don't really like doing. We kind of like to steward our properties and expand them as much as possible. So I think the thought was always there to potentially expand it. Having said that, a lot of the expansions and stuff I've been talking about are things that we came up with largely during the campaign. So they're not necessarily things that have been kicking around for months and, you know, we just didn't put them in this campaign or something. So yeah, a lot of the stuff I've mentioned is stuff that we've just heard people want during the campaign, so we're like, okay, so how can we make that work? Except for, well, there's a couple things that I think the team was kicking around beforehand, like the no, this still might have come up during the campaign, like maybe during the early days of the campaign or something, um, like with the common pool and that sort of thing. Start back up without me. I'm sorry, Hibley. I've been trying. I've had a hard time getting the word out that we changed the feed. Oh shoot! I suppose I should put it on Facebook too. Ah. Oh well. Anyways, we've got 37 of us here. That's almost back up to where we were. Um, who is planned as, or would you like to see as the first male Fable? You know, that's a great question. I don't. You know, I think part of the reason that we went with all females is there aren't that many really interesting male fairy tale characters. Like, I don't know. Like, if we go into mythology and stuff like that, obviously there's tons of them. And if we go into history, then there's a bunch of them. But as far as, like, fables or fairy tales, I don't know. I don't know. Because even Beast, he's really just like a side character in the original story. Like, the story focuses solely on beauty. So, I don't know. That's a good question, though. If anyone hasn't seen, I actually haven't, Phil. I just discovered it existed the other day, actually. So I think that would be really cool. I need to check that out. And 2v2 would be awesome to have some combos between Fables, so any new will play differently, but I assume it will be a balancing nightmare. Yeah, that probably would be a balancing nightmare, Viper. Interesting, though. It's a very interesting idea. The chaos graphics are back up. Yay! It might have crashed the live stream, but hey, it's happening finally. Shoot, I just lost my place here, guys. One sec. Guess we see you next year for the Deep Madness reprint campaign. How many games do you think you guys will put on KS next year? We're shooting for 2, Chaco. So we're hoping to do the Deep Madness reprint earlier in the year, and then mid to later in the year we'll do Celestial, which is our big game that we've been waiting on for a very long time. So we're looking to get that up hopefully next year. Which I know a lot of people have been waiting a very long time for that one. So hopefully next year's the year it actually happens. I love the theming and story. Any thoughts on a potential cooperative game in the same universe? Actually, Josiah, that's another thing we've talked about. And this actually was before the campaign, discussing the potential of a cooperative, more dungeon crawler style game, or kind of a Deep Madness skin of Twisted Fables or something like that. I don't know. I like the idea a lot, and I think the team likes the idea a lot. So we'll see. I think it would be a very cool thing to do. Getting your best ideas mid-campaign. You'd be shocked how much that happens, Phil. Happens a lot. Many publishers do end up abandoning their major KS games. Good to know. Want to see more Deep Madness games from that universe. Maybe different games mechanics tied to DM. That's something else we're thinking about, Chaco. In fact, I mentioned this in the other live stream too. So, The we have another we have a whole series actually of Deep Madness games that we'd like to do. We'll just have to see how it all works out. And they'd all tie together and form a cohesive whole and that sort of thing. So we'll see how it works out. We're working on one right now that's directly tied in with the book that I wrote called Shattered Seas. So I don't know when that's going to come out. Hopefully we'll see some of it in the Deep Madness reprint, but we'll have to see if it makes it for that or not. Time for me to put Byron on the spot. Any spoilers for what you lot have planned as new expansions for Deep Madness besides a potential Tower World? Well, I think I just gave some spoilers, Russ. But our main focus right now with Deep Madness would be that Tower World probably. But that is not the end of all that we're thinking of. We have a lot of potential things that are rustling around in our brains and that we're kicking around. So I can't say too much right now because honestly I don't know that much right now. But there are definitely a lot of future plans there. Which Fable was the hardest to balance? Also being a type of fighting game, how much of an impact is counterpicking? So that's actually a great question, and I am not the one to answer that because I'm the writer. So I do know that the team put in a ton of effort into balancing the Fables and to making sure that they all work together and that one's not super powered over the others and so on and so forth. So yeah, they've been working on this game for a while. Not as long as, like, say, Dawn of Madness or Celestial, but a long time. Let's see here. You could make Jack from the Beanstalk. Oh, Jack and the Beanstalk! Okay, I stand corrected. Jack and the Beanstalk would be a cool fable. That would legitimately be a cool fable. No idea how it would work, but it would be awesome. Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, but Rumpelstiltskin's a bad guy. So, I mean, it's not like... I don't know. It's possible. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. I guess you could have like a wolf come in and kill people. Peter Pan. Oh yeah, Peter Pan could be interesting. Johnny Appleseed. Oh, Johnny Appleseed. Man, now you guys are all proving me wrong. Jack and Jill. Okay, so initial thought with Jack and Jill is that wouldn't work. Second thought with Jack and Jill, that could be freaking awesome. If you had both of them and they're like this twisted thing, like running around other people on the I don't know if that would work. Yeah, Peter Pan. Yeah, okay, guys. I see you saying Peter Pan. Sorry if I mentioned a lot of characters. You're good. Oh, guys, we've only got 3 minutes left. Only 3 minutes before the campaign ends. Sorry, talking with Roger here too. Anyways. So yeah, we've got 3 minutes. Let's see where we're at. We are currently at... 2 minutes to go. And we are at 162,068. Woo! Oh, it just changed to seconds, guys. It just changed to seconds. Let's see here. All right, so I think let's get ready to count down here. We're at 90 seconds. We've got a minute and a half left in the campaign. Okay, I'm going to skip down your questions here, and I'm going to come back. So, counting down in seconds. We've got 70 seconds left, guys. We almost have less than a minute remaining. And 60 seconds. We're down to a minute. It's in red. The countdown is in red. Someone start singing the final countdown song. Oh wait, I guess no one would hear it. I guess I should sing the final countdown song. I'm not going to. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. Almost. Not quite. 30 seconds. Half a minute left. Here we go. Okay, everyone have your drinks ready? Everyone have your drink? I actually got something alcoholic for this, which is actually kind of rare for me. But I discovered I had this in the fridge. So, hey, there you go. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's Twisted Fables! Woo! The fireworks go off! Yay! There we go. Thanks everyone for being a part of this. Thanks for being here. That is awesome. So final count. 162,330 and 84 cents? What? I've never seen cents on a campaign before. Who pledged 84 cents? Okay, I got rid of the 84 cents. Never mind. Drunk Byron incoming. And now we can all start complaining it hasn't shipped yet. Yep, that's about it, Ryan. That's about it. You know, Russ, I just saw your comment here about getting some sleep. I have only the last few nights have been like almost all-nighters, but I've actually, this has been a much smoother campaign than some of the previous campaigns. So exactly 666 $1 pledges. Whoa, that's an interesting factoid. Fine, I'll take my 84 cents back. Yes, you're right, guys. It's probably currency conversion. You're right, and it actually did get rid of it. It was just a funny thing. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Okay, so I will get back up here to your questions. If I can find my spot, because I know we had a bunch of them here. Have you guys ever had a booth at San Diego Comic-Con or plan to? You know, I would be totally down for being at Comic-Con. We have not. Is there a large board game presence there, Michael? I don't know there. But yeah, I would love to be at San Diego Comic-Con. That would be a ton of fun. The only convention we're really at, apart from in China, is Gen Cons thus far. But we've actually been talking even just recently about wanting to expand to other conventions. So hopefully at some point in the future, life will get back to normal, conventions will happen again, and then we'll get out to some more of them. Lucid, there is GameFound opening a crowdfunding instead of Kickstarter. Yes, we are looking very closely at GameFound. In fact, we're using them as our pledge manager this time, Lucid. So I am very interested to see what happens with GameFound. Very, very interested. I do think it could potentially become a big deal. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what all happens there. I personally can't wait to see Celestial and the Centipede Kraken. Oh, Bill, you have no idea how badly I want the Kraken Centipede. It's one of my favorite monsters that I've ever created. As I was writing it, I was just like, this is so gross and awesome. um, anyways. Yes, I agree, Russ. I think Kickstarter will definitely be the safest option for at least the first year, until GameFound gets a big enough customer base. Absolutely. I suspect a lot of the customer base will just automatically, kind of drift over there because it's Awakened Realms. But yes, I agree. It's not a now thing that we would do it, but at some point in the future, yeah, I could see that happening. And Russell points out, squirrel! If there's a TF style dungeon crawler, it would be amazing. If there was also a deck builder, because a true deck building dungeon crawler would probably be my ideal game. Whoa! A deck building dungeon crawler! That is such an interesting idea, Moxanthia. Very interesting idea. I wonder if we could do that. Huh. I like that idea a lot. That's cool. Um, Celestial is a skirmish campaign-driven game. Blacklist Games also planning a skirmish co-op campaign-driven game. Dang it! Ah. Seems like every time we finally get a game ready for release, suddenly there's a flood of them on the market. Like, suddenly there's like 3 or 4 fighting game, like board game fighting games on Kickstarter. What the heck? um, oh, I had an idea about posting on the website relic setups where you put specific relics in the spots and they never go away. They're always there. I'm not sure what that's referring to, Michael. So maybe clarifying on that would be great. Are the game mats 100% having the fixed zones on them? One concern raised from my friends was that the ongoing section might overflow and cause an issue. I think chances are very good they'll have the fixed zones. I don't remember how big the ongoing section is, but so you have to keep in mind too, the ongoing section. If I'm remembering right, it's a fairly large section. These mats are huge, so it's a very small portion of the game mat. Let's see, where did my... So there's a smaller portion of the game mat that has a place for the Fable boards, right? So this is the size of a Fable board. And it's a small area of the playmat that this takes up. So these playmats are huge. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be too big of a problem there. I suppose it could be potentially. But the thing about ongoing effects too is they disappear at the start of every turn. So you're probably not going to get that many in there. So like the twists, you will have several twists probably active throughout as soon as you unlock them throughout the rest of the game. But as far as ongoing effects, those will go away every turn. So it probably won't be too big of a deal. But I guess we'll find out. And people seem to steer toward blank art mats as multi-purpose. Well, I don't know, Phil. It's possible that they could end up being... maybe there will be an alternate in the future or something, like for people who want just the art on the playmat. I could see that being a possibility. Yeah, so... William is just pointing, or Bill is just pointing out that he and his brother created an arena-style play using everything in the core box. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Uh, he sent a picture of it to me, and it's um, yeah, that would be nuts. Um, Snow Queen. Yeah, we could do a Snow Queen probably. I could see that happening. We just have to be very careful to keep it away from actually being Elsa, because Elsa is a Disney thing, but Snow Queen is not. Maleficent. Maleficent is, I don't know. She's kind of saturated the culture. Um, and I mean, what would we really? How could we go darker with her? She's pretty dark already, so I'm not positive about that. But who knows? Is there storage for the playmats in the deluxe edition? That's a great question, Chris. I actually am not sure about the answer to that. Because the playmats are big, I'm kind of guessing they might not be. But having said that, I often still cram my neoprene mats into boxes, and I do know that this is a fair-sized box. So, I don't know. I'll try to get an actual answer on that for you. Um, I think your version of the Magical is actually a happier story than the original. Oh, by far. The original Match Story Girl is so depressed, or Match Girl story is so depressing. um, uh, don't get me wrong, though. I love the story. I think it's a fantastically written story. How did you decide what to focus on for the game's tone? Well, we have some pretty specific tones that we normally put out in our games. This is actually quite light for us. um, but so we knew that we would want to do something like this, where it was more of a, what's the word? Sorry, just completely lost words. Where it was definitely our own spin on things. So, and we tend towards monsters and, darker stuff maybe, and tentacles and that sort of thing. And also, kind of a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. So it just seemed like that was kind of a natural way for us to go with this stuff. So, um, in development, which comes first? You writing a Fable or the gameplay designers coming up with a Fable and mechanic? Pretty much exclusively the gameplay designers coming up with a Fable and mechanic. And actually, the team and I work very closely on the stories too. So the stories are not just me flipping out whatever. They are all of us working together to make the Fable exactly what's been imagined it to be. So, and sometimes, our it changes as I'm writing the story. Sometimes they have a very specific thing in mind, and so we work together on those stories and stuff. Princess Kaguya is on Netflix. Oh, very cool. All right. Surprised we have no fairies. You never know, Jacob. The future is bright. I will insta-back a TF Dungeon Crawl all in. Nice. Good to know, Manny. Okay, so let's go down. Where's my game? Okay, so I'm flipping down through all the congratulations here, guys. Send game to Prince. Some of them already have, Jacob, but unfortunately they're all the core games. So if you back the deluxe, not yet. Oh, any update on PayPal being used as a payment method in the Pledge Manager? I haven't heard specifically, Moxanthia, but I also haven't heard it's not possible. So because I haven't heard that, I'm going to guess that that means it is. We definitely want PayPal in there for people as an option if possible. And they say it's possible. We just haven't. When I mentioned it previously, they just hadn't found out about it. So I strongly suspect we'll have PayPal in the Pledge Manager. TF is over now, back to writing Dob stuff. You have no idea how true that is, Russ. So how angry would you have been at Byron if the deluxe graphics hadn't been re-added? Well, I don't know if angry is the right word, Himley. Just disappointed. Here's hoping Gen Con is happening next year. Oh man, I totally agree with you on that, Jay. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Happy new game to you as well. Is Celestial your next game for KS? This company is badass and supportive of your IPs. Nice to see in comparison to others. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Kaza. Sorry, I keep rotating through pronunciations of your name. I'm sorry if it's wrong. Celestial is our next big IP game, or our next big release game. So yes. Is the caterpillar still anywhere in the Alice story? I wish, Phil. No, that that was judged a little too bizarre and weird. I will admit I thoroughly loved it and was very happy with it, but I am a little bizarre and weird, so if something is deemed too bizarre and weird by my team, they're probably right. Oh, you might not even know. Oh, you probably don't. That's probably not a reference to the... Okay. There was a caterpillar in the Alice story. But my take on it was odd. So it was cut. Creating is hard, copying is easy. Agreed, Himley. Okay, so Michael Turner and I were talking about focus and thinning deck later. One, will this be fine-tuned? I don't know about that, Lucid. I'm not the game designers and that sort of thing. I suspect that what's in there is what is going to probably ship in the final game, because like I've kind of said before, a lot of the core game stuff is already being made or has been made. So, poor sleep-deprived Roger is secretly watching this, is either really happy about a deck-building dungeon crawler, or he's wincing what the team will be. Yes, you're probably right, Russ. So anyways, back to the focusing thing. I probably am not in a good position to say if that will be fine-tuned or not. I do know that there have been a number of games played with the focusing thing in mind, and they've found it to be very effective. But I'm also not the designer for it, so I can't really say for sure. That really is going to be a big play, man. Darn right it is, Russ. Darn right it is. That's going to be stinking huge. I've never really had more than 2 ongoing effects in play at a time. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. William slash Bill slash Ninja. You probably won't have a whole lot of ongoing effects at any one time. Good to know, Kieran. Just saw your comment about wanting the no card area overlay on a playmat there. Time to... Dual-sided would be an option. So, Himley, yeah, I've seen you mention that, and I want to bring that up with the team. Oh, you're talking about art and card on one side and only art on the other. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't considered that. I don't know. I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up with the team. Stefano says, "Hey Byron, just passed by to congratulate you for the campaign and say that I am very happy we managed to unlock the art book." Me too, Stefanos. That's great news. I'm so happy about that. And thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for stopping by and congratulating, and thanks for being a part of Twisted Fables. So is it around May we should be expecting the game? Yes, around May, Stefanos. So we still have to make the deluxe edition game stuff. So have to finalize the trays, have to tool the minis, stuff like that. So that's where a majority of the time is going to be now, between then and now. And then obviously manufacturing and shipping and that sort of stuff. But yes, May is around the time when you should expect it there. Also, when will the Pledge Manager open? So we're hoping to have that open really soon, because we are on kind of a tight schedule with this game to get it out to you guys as quickly as possible. We'll be looking at probably as soon as the Kickstarter funds come in, which takes 2 weeks for them to process that stuff normally. Then once that happens and we're able to import everything in, then we'll open the Pledge Manager as soon as we can. How long will the Pledge Manager be open, says Christopher. Christopher, it's not going to be very long. So in Dawn of Madness, the Pledge Manager was open for months and then kind of soft closed, and it's still open. But now it's this will be a shorter time for the Pledge Manager because we really are focused on getting this game out to people as quickly as possible. So my guess would be somewhere between a few weeks and a month, maybe. It just depends. It depends on, it depends how long we can keep it open. We will keep it open as long as we can. But we want to make sure we get the game out to people as quick as possible. Oh no, I just lost my place. Where'd I go? Okay. Congratulations on the campaign. Thanks, Nurse Ruben. Appreciate you being a part of it. For those new to Dimension, he ain't joking when he says this is a light game for them. Yes. Russ is absolutely correct. When our previous game was the one that we were trying to make specifically to scare people, yeah. Did someone say tentacles? Of course we did, Phil. Who doesn't say tentacles? You guys missed the opportunity to use the phrase "release the Kraken" with Little Mermaid. I still imagine a lot of people, as they're playing Little Mermaid, will will yell, "Release the Kraken!" I love how you say tentacles. Thank you. Any ideas for theme to be put in a bigger game like others? Yeah, Jacob, we've actually been talking about that. So we're looking at maybe turning it into a dungeon crawler of some kind, or or something. I mean, that's all very early planning stages, but it's definitely a possibility. It's the joy on his face when he says tentacles. It's true. I really do like tentacles. Do you know if the playmats will have embroidered sewed trim to prevent fraying? I would guess so, Ghost. I haven't specifically heard, but I know we're doing that for the Dawn of Madness game board mat. So I would imagine it probably would be, but I also can't completely promise that because I don't know for sure. You're the first person to actually ask this in this campaign, so it's not something that I've come up against. So I don't have an answer yet. What are some of your favorite authors that you get inspiration from? Oh man, Nurse Rubin, that's a big question. Neil Gaiman is huge. C.S. Lewis, huge. Stephen King, I really like his stuff, especially the Dark Tower stuff. Love the Dark Tower. Who else? I don't know. I'm always reading books. It's often more series with me than it is like an author necessarily. So like Ransom Riggs's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series is great. And of course Lovecraft. Lovecraft is huge. As is Junji Ito. But he's a comic book guy. So yeah, that's a few. And obviously there's a lot more. Also, congratulations on the Kickstarter success, DG, and I'm sorry if it's late. Well, thanks, Shishi. Sorry, I'm not... Cece? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name right either. I'm new to tabletop games. Last thing I played was Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, welcome, Kawika. I'm so glad that you're with us on this. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy Twisted Fables. Welcome to the... the dark, bottomless whirlpool that is Kickstarter. Congratulations on another Twisted Chaos. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it, my friend. Have to go to sleep now. Thank you, Byron, for an awesome show, and congrats on a successful campaign. I already been charged. Awesome. Thank you, Viper. Thanks for being here, my friend. I look forward to talking with you again in the future. Any ideas for 3 players? So, Jacob, that's an interesting question. And I think that it's actually... I think, Bill, you can correct me on this, but I think you guys have done it, haven't you? A 3-player game? I don't know if it's something that we would officially support, but it is doable. Oh, okay, so Lucid is asking, I thought you were the designer. What are you exactly, if you don't mind me asking? I'm the writer. I'm the writer for Dimension Games, so I write all the story stuff. And then I also edit stuff, and so I've been writing all the updates, and I also do a lot of the community stuff, and that sort of thing. So, but yes, I'm the writer. Twisted Fables AU, where they all gang up to beat their neglectful parents. When will you show the miniatures? Oh, did you want to see minis? I have them here. So these are just they're just 3D printed minis, and I'll be honest, they didn't print a lot of them as well as I would have liked. There's some rough edges on them, and I haven't had the time to fix them. But I do have minis here if you guys would like to see them. Let's see here. 1 sec while I grab them all here. Okay. So, let's see. We'll start with Dorothy here. So this is Dorothy. So and it's way behind on my feed here, so I can't actually see if you guys are seeing this, so I just hope you can. Bye, Dorothy. Here's Kaguya. Here's Snow White. Let's see. Here's Scheherazade. Now, I will say with Scheherazade, I actually think this is an early STL file I got here, because I don't think that she still has this little guy on the front of her base. So I don't think that's in the final mini. But, so there's her. Let's see. Okay, this one did not print very well, guys. This is technically a failed print. So I didn't even mount her to her base here. But here is Match Girl. We don't need the base. Here's Match Girl. And like I said, this is a failed print. It did not print well. But I haven't had a chance to reprint her either. Here is Mulan. And her thing is actually longer than this. That broke off. And here is Red Riding Hood. And last of all, here is Sleeping Beauty. I haven't had a chance to get Alice's printed, so I don't have Alice's here. But I think that's a look at the rest of them at least. When is planned for expansions? So the okay, guys. Going back here, I think I missed a few comments somehow. Can we do a 2v2 TF match by ourselves, but no player can attack on the first turn? Wait. The 2v2, absolutely. That is built into Twisted Fables. But no player attacking on the first turn? I mean, sure, if that's what you want to do. I have a feeling people are going to want to get in there and start smacking each other as quick as possible, though. Regarding the sleeves, do you know if they're slim fit or normal? Someone asked on the KS today. I don't know, Himley. I don't. I haven't seen the samples for the sleeves, so I can't tell you the sizes necessarily, unfortunately, apart from what everyone else can see on the campaign page. I would imagine they're probably pretty tight fitting, because they are more of like a normal card, and I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So 57 by 88. I'd have to look at this and see how that compares to the cards themselves. A middle-aged Mother Hubbard who's nice and plump and round, but she heard, "Where's my sandwich?" one too many times, and now wields a rolling pin in one hand and a butcher's cleaver in the other, and when she twists, she eats her children. More power movement. Damage and protection for different amounts of the children. That is very specific, Manny. That is very specific. Russell Groves is starting to crack. Quick, random question time. Absolutely. Random question away. Any potential Lovecraftian cyberpunk game? Actually, Dark Angel Callie, that's kind of Celestial. So Celestial has elements of cyberpunk, it's Chinese mythology, it's elements of steampunk, it's elements of Lovecraft for sure, and then a healthy helping of Game of Thrones brutality on top of it. So, yeah, kind of. Gotta go, but again, congrats on the campaign and all things DM. I can't wait for the coming real soon across the Shattered Sea. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, William, for being here. You're awesome, and thanks for all your help in the comments and everything. And thanks for being a part of Twisted Fables, my friend. What inspired you to work on Twisted Fables? That's a great question. Twisted Fables was actually a game. Sorry, guys. It was actually a game designed by some designers outside our company, and so it's kind of our first published game that we ourselves as a team didn't just do from start to finish. But then we kind of decided its initial skin was more of like a Dungeons and Dragons style themed game, and we decided we wanted to go with more of the twisted fairy tale type thing. So that's so we completely redid the game for that, and Twisted Fables was born. So and yeah, so then the team just kind of went crazy on the designs and art and everything else, and here we are. What's after Celestial? That's a great question, Jacob. We've got a few different things after Celestial. Like I said, we want to continue building up and stewarding our various things that we're doing. So I don't know. I don't know specifically what will come after Celestial, but it will probably be like reimaginings of different things, like reimaginings of Twisted Fables or Deep Madness, or things like that, building up our different universes and worlds and IPs and stuff like that. I got a great idea for a twisted character Disney lawyer. Oh, that's scary, Michael. Random question. Have you worked out what the next book adventure will be that we are going on? Yes, Russ, I have. Dawn of Madness. What was the last Deep Madness scenario you played? I think it was... this is going to sound wussy. I think it was the Drowning in the Depths from Profundum, because it was a bunch of new players. So I was teaching them the game. Apart from that, I think what was the other one? It was... I think it might have been the Madness Within scenario. I think that might have been the last one I did. Apart from Drowning in the Depths. Okay, sorry, I scrolled too far here. You don't have time to play games, Phil. Too much story and dumb to write. That's not wrong. Good. Glad you guys like the artwork and the minis. Any response to adding some scenery to the bases? Not yet, Himley, but that is a cool question and something I'm looking into for you. So, Michael, that's a cool thought. So you were mentioning a digital version of the game that is standalone, not tabletop simulator on Steam or mobile. That's a cool thought. I think would be up for something like that. The problem is we've kind of had a bad we've had bad experiences trying to step into the digital world a little bit. It's certainly not our strong suit. So we would definitely need some people alongside us who are very good at that sort of thing. Um, um, okay, so Kaza, so you're saying were there other ideas of the characters that were scrapped for what we have now, or was it always set what their style would be? For example, Red was always going to be a cyber assassin. Well, Red pretty much always was going to be a cyber assassin. I mean, um, some of the story is actually dictated by the art. So depending what the artists come up with, will sort of depend on. I mean, we obviously give them some very specific things to shoot for, but then we also let them play too. So, like with Mulan, she's fighting this race of like Borg-like monstrous things called the Necrovenge. Those didn't exist before the artist drew them into her art. Um, so yeah, there's and then as we're doing the stories and stuff too, we go through several iterations for each fable. Like Snow White originally, she always killed her parents in our story, but how she got there and what happened after that changed several times. And then Alice, obviously, I mentioned that one too. Her story changed a bit too. But as far as the overall style of what we were shooting for, I think the general idea was pretty much there from the start. Like with Red Riding Hood being the cybernetic assassin, and so on and so forth. Having the wolf as a part of her inside, stuff like that. I think a lot of that stuff, at least the grains of that stuff, were there pretty much from the start. Peter Pan the Necromancer. Decided to go for a more twisted type thing. Yes. Celestial is greater than skirmish game. Not, I'm guessing small unit skirmish and not Warhammer 40k with 100 plus minis aside. You are correct, Tivoli. There will not be 100 plus minis aside. For starters, they're all big. They're all pretty darn sizable. So to have 100 of them would be insane. So yes, you are correct. It will be more small unit skirmish as opposed to hundreds of minis on a single rolling tabletop. Hey, thanks, Diego. Just saw your comment here. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your congratulations. So glad to give you a laugh at my... I believe you, Manny. I do. Okay, let's see here. Seems like Celestial will be similar to Kingdom Death Monster when it comes to gameplay and level of brutality. So you're the first person to ever compare it to Kingdom Death Monster, I think. The minis will definitely be Kingdom Death Monster level. They're going to be hips, multi-part kits. It's very different from Kingdom Death, though, as far as gameplay goes. But both are kind of story driven, and so one big difference between this and Kingdom Death is these are going to be real characters that you're attached to, and when some of them eventually die permanently, you're definitely going to feel it. Whereas, like in Kingdom Death, where someone dies and it's just like, oh, shoot. Well, there goes another one of my settlement. And you sometimes feel worse, actually, if, like, you lose the gear that if you lose the the member of the settlement, then whereas in Celestial they're all very fleshed out characters. Oh man, it just zipped past a bunch of comments again. Sorry guys, it keeps doing that. Be awesome to see Deep Madness crossover with Nemesis, aliens coming into the universe. So Chago, actually, someone mentioned that like in the Deep Madness reprint campaign or something, and we actually did just kind of throw it out to Awaken Realms, and they were not interested. So unfortunately, there will probably not be a Nemesis Deep Madness crossover. It would have been amazing to see Tinkerbell among the characters. Hey, you never know, Diego. There is always room for expansion in the future. One day I will totally do a Deep Madness Conan the Barbarian crossover scenario, which will make no sense, but will play awesome. I want to see that, Phil. I want to see that scenario. Gonna need a bigger house. Yes, Emily. All of us board game collectors need a bigger house. I think that pretty much goes without saying. Bigger minis are... Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Why does it keep doing that? Maybe it's because I'm so far above where you guys actually are. That's very possible. Bigger minis are always better for me, better canvas to paint, and more eye-catching on the board. Absolutely, Kaza. So, like, I don't know. I've only got a couple of them right here. But, so, like, here is one of the minis. And this is Neva. She's missing her little DNA strand going between her hands, just because I haven't glued it in. But, so this is Neva. She's one of the heroines of Celestial. And she's kind of in the mid-range of the minis. So let's see here. Let's sure, why not? I'll grab another one here. One sec, guys. Let's see. All right. So here's a couple more of the Celestial minis, since we're on the subject. So here's our... And then we've got Zurung. Yeah. So these are just resins. We sell the resin minis for this game right now. But these are basically what you'll get in the game when it releases as well. Okay. I am new on KS. How does the Pledge Manager work? Will you guys put up an update on Kickstarter? Yes, we will, Stefanos. We'll guide you through every step of the process, so no worries. You're going to know exactly what you're getting into with the Pledge Manager. We'll have step-by-step instructions, all that stuff, so no problem there. Congrats on the campaign. Thank you, Kawika. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. Dang it, it just jumped again. Ooh, hips. Can't wait to see what you guys do with that, seeing how good the DM minis are. They won't be as big as the resin ones DG is currently selling. They will be, Himley. They will be basically the same size as the resin ones that we're selling. They're going to be big. So, what's all this about Deep Madness reprint? I totally missed out back in the day. Dilated Beholder, we will definitely have a Deep Madness reprint coming up. So stay tuned for that. Probably Q1-ish next year. If you want only female fables, you could gender bend all the men. Pied Piper, etc. Switch. Jill survived the beanstalk, slaughter the giants to avenge Jack, falling out of the clouds and down the hill. Nice, guys. Celestial will be kits, spurs. I'm guessing you mean sprues. We have to assemble the minis. Yes. At least for a lot of them, they will be sprues and they will need assembled. Because we're going with a lot of dynamic poses and a lot of just crazy stuff. So, so yes, at least many of them will need to be assembled. Thought those were bigger collector's minis. No, they are not. Those are pretty much minis from the game. Of course, there will be smaller units too. They're not all going to be that size, but yeah, they're going to be big. Thank you, Ghost. Really appreciate that, my friend. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for going all in on this one. I need me those resin celestial models. Wink, wink. Well, I mean, I need a bigger paycheck. I think that's the problem right there, isn't it? It's like, yeah. When will Celestial come to Kickstarter? Okay, so that's probably going to be, I think our current goal is somewhere around the middle of the year. I really want to avoid fall and winter because it just seems like there are so many campaigns that get slammed into that space. But having said that, we always shoot for summer and we always seem to get fall. So I don't know. We'll see. When it's ready. I'll put it that way. It will come to Kickstarter when it's ready. Seeing as their hips and that size, I really hope their kits will probably be a lot of broken minis, otherwise are big boxes. Yeah, a lot of them will be kits, Emily. I'm horrible at assembly. Aw. Well, a lot of them aren't like that many pieces, so like hopefully sooner than the game. So like Neva here, she's in a lot of her is actually one piece. She breaks here, so that's 2 pieces, 3, 4, and then there's like a hair piece here, and then she has her DNA strand that goes across. So I mean, we're not talking a ton of assembly on like her or some of the others. So though also the hips will be different because it's, you know, you have to make them differently. So I actually can't say how many pieces there'll be. But when will we see gameplay videos of Celestial? That's a great question, Lucid. I'm actually not sure about that right now. We're not at a point yet where we could do that. Hopefully closer to the launch of the campaign, we'll be able to get some good gameplay videos out there. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have more, and you know, hopefully Gen Con will happen next year, and we'll have it there, and we'll be able to show it off to a bunch of people too. So, yeah, that could be that. I think that's probably what we'll be shooting for. I know it's early, but can you remind me of the anticipated delivery date for Twisted? Super pumped. We're looking at May, Greg. We're looking at May. So, yeah, right around that time frame. And I think that's going to be pretty close as far as when we can get that done there. So, Will assembled minis fit back into the box? I have no idea, Greg, because I haven't seen the box. It doesn't exist yet. I would assume so. We try to be pretty good with storage. I know, for a lot of the minis and stuff that come hips, you just get the flat boxes. We're normally pretty good at storage, so I would hope that would be an option. I can't guarantee it, but yeah, so Russ, you're going to be so disappointed when I tell you my process. um, uh, Phil, so yeah, Phil's pretty much right. So first he puts tentacles and crab legs on everything. I mean, you're not wrong, Phil. I do put tentacles and crab legs on a lot of things. Uh, um, so as far as my process for writing and stuff, normally, like specifically for Dimension Game stuff, normally the team will give me an idea or two. Though in the case of Twisted Fables, they pretty much just said, hey, we want there to be a big tower with a monster outside. And that was pretty much where we went from there. So they also said that they were hoping to have aspects of the book that were in Kadath so that we could tie that back to the game. Well, thanks for being here, Diego. So glad you were able to stop by, and thanks for being a part of Twisted Fables and this live stream and everything else. So have a great day. But anyways, so then I try to get a few small ideas in my head, and then I start going. Most of Shattered Seas was me sitting here saying, what the heck is coming next? And because the book was the way it was, I could just do whatever the heck I wanted. So I'm not a very good one as far as outlining goes, or knowing exactly how a book's going to end necessarily, though I had a pretty good idea how this one was going to end. But hey, Faisal, good to see ya. Welcome. But yeah, I'll normally know some aspects of it going in, and then just fill out the rest as I go. Oh no, it doesn't just come easily. No, definitely not. Sometimes I'll sit here for hours just bashing my head trying to figure out what comes next. If I'm doing dialogue or action scenes, it's super easy. Because then the characters are writing themselves, basically. But the other stuff does not come as easily. Yeah, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm not sure it actually did. But I don't know. I've just never been a fan of like outlines and stuff. I need to do more of it in the future, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's not my favorite thing. Well, I need a dartboard with ideas. Yeah, exactly. Just what do I want in this scene? Let's go with tentacles, but what else besides tentacles? I honestly thought you wouldn't reach the stretch goal. I apologize for my lack of faith. Nurse Ruben, you are forgiven. I'm glad we got it too. A jump to conclusions, Matt. Yes. Oh, wow, it's 4. Huh, look at that. And suddenly we've been going for 2 hours again. Does anyone else have Oh, all the DG art books are superb. Something to really treasure. Well, thanks, Phil. I appreciate that. Bigger tentacles. I don't know. Himley, I don't know if you've read Shattered Seas yet or not. There's some big ones in there. um, but yeah. So, anyone else have any questions or anything, or should we start wrapping this one up for now? If we are wrapping this up, I do want to say that I'm going to be trying to do more live streams in the future. In the past, I've just kind of done them during campaigns or whatever, but I'm going to try to start doing them more regularly, so that we can, stay connected and, stay in touch and that sort of thing. So, I'm sorry, there wasn't a okay, so Himley, you haven't seen the art books. Okay. Well, here's a Deep Madness art book. 1 second. Okay, so here's a Deep Madness art book. Now, this is not what's coming in Twisted Fables, because we just simply didn't have the time to make one like this. So with Twisted Fables, it's going to be more of a... Twisted Fables will probably be more like this. More of a... not this, obviously, but... more of that size. But for the Deep Madness, this was the art book. So, oh, this one. Did this one print weird? This one totally printed weird. What the heck? This one's upside down. That's kind of awesome. Huh. Weird. Anyways. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going over in the chair either there, Russ. But, yeah. Oh, I'll have 20 questions right after this ends. Yeah, I'm sure, Michael. Well, I mean, you can find me in the comments or, on Facebook or wherever, so feel free. I'm super pumped for Dawn of Madness, but was disappointed to hear that malformations no longer aid you. Excited for the narrative, though. Can you give us an idea as to what replayability will be like? Oh, there's going to be a ton of replayability, Dilated Beholder. Your name's awesome, by the way. Each wanderer basically, so you're forming the story as you're playing through the game, right? So there's 4 different finales. Each finale has 4 different endings, at least. So you've automatically right there got 4 times 4, right? So lots of different finales that you can see and maybe play through. The game itself, there's tons of choices, so there is a lot of replayability in it. As far as being disappointed, the malformations no longer aid you. Yeah, I mean, I knew that. That was a feature I really liked too. But the way I kind of look at things is, if something else that's coming along is better, then I have to be okay with letting go with something, and I just can't or just hold on to it because it's what I like. So, and honestly, the new system is better. It's going to be more thematic. It's going to be more tense. Whenever they come out, you are in trouble. And that's really kind of the feeling we wanted to get, was that feeling of tension and trouble and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's one big reason why we went with them the way they are. The other reason was, well, another big reason. This way we could have all of them in one game. So, which I'm super excited about. I think it's going to be very cool seeing all of the different malformations milling around the board as you do worse and worse in a game. But the um, just completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Uh, oh yeah. So the other thing was with them was it kind of created a feeling that the Central Wanderer was more important, and we didn't want to have that feeling that the Central Wanderer was more important. So that was something that a lot of people had in the campaign, was they were like, hey, it just feels like everyone else's side characters, and we didn't want to have, that feeling of, we didn't want anyone to feel like a side character. So that was another reason we did it too. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to how the malformations are going to work in this new version. But anyways. My internet just decided to reboot. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Emily. At least it wasn't mine, and we all just lost the stream again. um, okay, so let's see. I thought they were going to be A5 formats, so thought I could skip them and get more gameplay stuff. Yeah, well, is the multiple choice choose your own way still part of DOM? Absolutely. It is the foundation of DOM. So, and DOM is short for Dawn of Madness, for those who are here for Twisted Fables. But yes, the multiple choice, you are really forging the story as you're going through it. So, yeah, and that's one of the things we are most excited about is, just diving deep into this story and seeing that your choices cause this stuff to happen. So, yeah. Let's see. And big love to you back from the U.S., Dilated Beholder. Been a long while since he touched that beer. Looks like no drunk secrets this stream. Oh man, I think we've covered this maybe in a past live stream, Russ, but I have actually never been drunk, so I just never felt the need. So chances are good you weren't gonna get there anyways. Anyways. What's the difference between Dawn Madness and Deep Madness? There are a ton of differences. So, how is it different from Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition? Okay, so Dawn of Madness. Okay, I'll start with the Deep Madness and Dawn of Madness comparison. So, Deep Madness is more of like a more of a normal dungeon crawl. And Dawn of Madness is more of a story-driven game that's out there to actually scare you. Byron did not write Mansions of Madness. I mean, that's true. I didn't. But, I'll get you drunk just to learn your secrets. Good luck, Russ. Actually, I don't know, but you might be able to. I don't know. We'll have to see if one of us either gets to the other's country, right? Okay, so back Mansions of Madness, Dawn Madness, and Deep Madness. So many madness. So first of all, there's no app for Dawn of Madness. So it's So that's one big difference between it and Mansions of Madness, at least second edition. There's also no dungeon master or that sort of thing in the game. So there's no dungeon master, period. No app dungeon master or human dungeon master. So the game changes and fluctuates depending on the stories as you're playing through them. So, and we're working on like audio narration and that sort of thing, potentially, maybe through like our friends over at Sound Booth Theater. That's still all very early stages that we're looking at doing stuff like that. But the I just completely lost my train of thought again. Dang it. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job with this, Nurse Ruben. My apologies. But, squirrel, I guess. The picture on the wall is what happens when you get strong. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. I guess going back. So Deep Madness is more, it's still story driven, but it's more of a standard dungeon crawl, whereas Dawn of Madness is you're building the story as you're playing it. Each wanderer, which is you play as a wanderer in the game, but you at the same time, the wanderer is the game. So you're playing through their story, essentially. You're forming and crafting their story. Yeah, I know, Himley, right? Yeah, it's something we're working on. And like I've said before, Sound Booth Theater has done a great job with the Shattered Seas stuff. So it's something we definitely want to consider moving forward with them on as we get closer to Dawn of Madness and stuff. But anyways, I digress. We made Dawn of Madness to be a horror board game that's actually scary. So like, I know Mansions of Madness can have moments of tension like that, where you start going, yeah, this game is supposed to actually scare you, though. Like, one dangerous thing for people to do is to tell me their fears, because chances are good, once they tell me a fear, it's going to end up in Dawn of Madness. Like, someone told me about, they had a fear of tryptophobia, which is a fear of holes. So I now have this character called the Honeycomb Man, whose face is full of holes. And it's a very cerebral game, but it's also just like creating your own haunted house, kind of. It's going to be super creepy. It does have still miniatures, and they're still fighting, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very different from Mansions of Madness. But it's yeah. I realize I'm not doing a very good job of that, of explaining it right now. But hopefully that helped a little bit. I'm not positive it actually did. If you have a more specific question, though, feel free to drop that down there, and I'll try to do better and not butcher that one quite so much. Let's see here. Done any research into SCPs for anything upcoming? I am not positive what an SCP is, to be perfectly honest, Weapon Omega. So maybe let me know. Byron's face of joy when he realized he could scare actual individual backers was priceless. Such glee. It's true. Anyways. Yeah, or like there's another scene in Dawn of Madness, and you guys who are in the Dawn of Madness campaign, you already know all this stuff. But so like my friend slash colleague Roger, fear of facial hair. Okay, how would that work? Fear of fluffy objects. Don't put him on the SCP on the mic. Okay, now I have to look up what SCP is. I'm guessing it's not secure copy protocol. Anyways. But the so yeah, my colleague slash friend Roger told me I had cockroaches in one scene, and he mentioned he really hated cockroaches and had a giant fear of cockroaches. So right after that, I wrote a story where you have to run through this corridor surging with cockroaches, and they're swarming you and plunging into your mouth, and fear of waifus. Is Deep Madness and Dawn of Madness in store, or was it Kickstarter exclusive? So they are currently Kickstarter exclusive. I'm afraid of heights and getting cannibalized, so I guess my worst fear is falling off a cliff onto a plate. That's awesome. But they are technically kind of Kickstarter exclusive. CC. It's not something we ever really planned or wanted to do. It just kind of happened because both of those games are they're expensive to make. So, as of right now, yeah, they're Kickstarter exclusive. We have a version that we keep toying with for Deep Madness that would be standees, and that would be cheaper to make. So we're looking at that and seeing if we could make something like that for the retail market. But as of right now, yeah, they're Kickstarter exclusives. Oh man, I don't know that I should try this. Fear of log words. I'm not even gonna try to say that one. But anyway, so yeah. So as of right now, yeah, Kickstarter's pretty much the place you can get them. Dawn of Madness is still, we still have pre-orders available for that one. Well, here, let me get you the link to the Dawn of Madness pre-order site, because you can still get Dawn of Madness. Deep Madness, you'll probably have to wait for the next campaign, but Dawn of Madness is still up. Okay, so there's that for you. I'm just being done. Yeah, I know, Michael. I think that my brain is like slowly just like drifting off in a sea of thoughts or something. But yeah, I seem to be focusing less and less and less. So maybe this is what it's like to get Byron drunk. I don't know. So let's see here. Okay, so here's our second printing Kickstarter page, though like I said, this isn't currently much good for you. But hey, if you wanted to take a look, you can. Because I saw you mentioning you couldn't find it on Kickstarter there. And here's Dawn of Madness 2. If you want to just look at the Kickstarter pages. Okay, anyways. Yeah. Alright, so any other questions, guys? Or anything else you guys want to talk about? Because otherwise I'm probably going to sign off for now and talk with you guys later. So feel free to let me know. Going once. Going twice. Oh. To ease your mind, SCP Secure, Contain, Protect. But in essence, it's a conglomeration of all the weird stuff people have created and put out on the internet. Nice. All right. Okay. Well, I'll look into it. I'll look into it, but I'll do it off the stream, so that you guys don't have to be into it. Okay. So Nico-chan, yay for Twisted Fables! Yay! Only 6 months to go until I can get my hands on it. Any schedule on the TTS update? So actually, we were hoping to have the other characters up before the campaign ended, but apparently that didn't happen. So I do know that the core 6 are being worked on right now, but he hasn't messaged me back to say that they're done. So apparently they're not done yet. But I'm guessing they will be in TTS before too much longer. I mean, obviously there's 4 of them he's doing rather than 6 there. And then we'll do the expansion Fables later on as we move on too. But I figured get the core box ones in there first. But, well, I'm back to say farewell. Farewell, William/Bill/Ninja. I just want his wife to put something shiny behind him so he loses his attention like a magpie. Well, if it helps, Russ, I keep seeing cats walking through my backyard over here. So if you see me looking over this way, it's not just because I'm deep in thought. It's also because I'm cat watching. But okay, so relics are the cars that go into the spaces you move around on. Yes, okay. What about having specific setups for which ones instead of a deck, and they don't go away when they're used? Yeah, I could see something like that maybe working, Michael. That could be interesting. I don't know if there's enough of them necessarily. We might need more relics, more relic cards to make that happen. I'm not sure. But yeah, in any case, yeah, that's an interesting idea. It's a very interesting idea. Guess I'll go to sleep since I've got a doctor's appointment in 8 hours, or maybe I should stay awake and be tired if she's got something bad to say. Then you're loopy and you just don't care anymore, right? Okay. Oh, what was your role in the creation of Dawn of Madness? Do you tell the artist what to draw or something like that? No, so my role in Dawn of Madness is more so writing the stories, Nurse Rubin. So I do the writing. I write the stuff. So now there's two. Actually, there are several of the monsters and stuff that are directly from my stories. But they are, the problem is that a lot of the monsters are already created by the time I write the stories. So if there's future expansions, there will be all sorts of new monsters for us to choose from, because I'm sure I'll create some really interesting ones. But yeah, there are several of them in Dawn of Madness that were directly from stories I wrote, like Spider Lady here. So this was directly out of one of the stories I wrote. But for the most part, a lot of the team just kind of sends out ideas to our artists and gets all the different ideas in place, and then I either write stories around them or that sort of thing. So it's definitely a collaborative process, both between the team, myself, and the artists. Okay, well, if there's no other last second questions, then I think we'll go ahead and call this live stream here. So I'll wait just a second because I think there's still a delay in the video. Just see if there's any more last second questions or topics or whatever. I want to slap some paint on the spider lady. Ah, yes. Yes. Yeah, she did make a big feature of scaring people during the Dom campaign. She absolutely did. And she will in the actual game, too. What do you like better, Dawn or Deep Madness? Oh, they're very different games, Nurse Ruben. I like them both. I like them both a lot. It just kind of depends on your mood, right? So if you're looking for something that's more of like an Aliens movie, then you would go with Deep Madness. If you're looking for something that's more of a Exorcist, then you would go with Dawn of Madness. Between the two of them, I've definitely done more work on Dawn of Madness, so it's definitely one of my babies. But I also, you don't like to choose between your kids, right? So they're different games for different situations. Dawn of Madness is the one you play in October when you want to just settle in and freak yourself out, and Deep Madness is the one when you want to just ratchet up the tension and struggle against dozens of monsters. An Aliens movie that often ends with everyone dead. Yes, that is correct, Russ. That is absolutely correct. The win ratio on Deep Madness is not high. Okay, well, I think we're going ahead and call this one, guys. Mom definitely has a favorite, even if she won't admit it. Oh, Kate. That's okay, well, anyways, I think I'm gonna sign off. Last chance to sneak in a question. All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Thanks for being a part of Dimension Games. Thank you for everyone who was a part of Twisted Fables, and if you weren't, thanks for being here with us and hanging out, and for being interested in our projects. And we really appreciate you guys, and you're awesome. So thanks for bearing with me through all the stream problems and everything. And yes, Simley, I just saw your comment here. Let's definitely get another stream up soon. So I'm hoping for once a month or once every couple of months, something like that, so that we can keep hanging out like this more regularly than just when a campaign's going. So, all right. Well, have a great night, guys, and a good day, depending where you are in the world. And